Your parents will doubt your dreams, and it doesn't matter. One of the most common messages that I've received throughout my time on YouTube is that young men like yourself have very big dreams for themselves, very big aspirations, but not just big aspirations, unusual aspirations that take them away from the traditional beaten path. And in following that non traditional path, they face a lot of resistance from the people around them, especially their parents. In this video, I want to help you understand, first of all, why your parents are doubting your dreams, and second of all, help you navigate that doubt so that you don't allow their doubt to seep into your subconscious mind and influence your actions and prevent you from bringing your dreams into fruition. That said, why do your parents doubt your dreams? There are a few reasons why, and the first one is that your transformation scares them. As a matter of fact, scare is not a strong enough word. Your transformation intimidates them. And by the way, this doesn't just apply to your parents. This applies to your friends, your family members, aside from your parents, even your partner, your spouse, etc. Your parents and the people around you are intimidated by your transformation. Why is that? The reason why they're intimidated is because they only know who they are relative to you. And when they see you transforming, when they see you elevating into a person that maybe they're not willing or capable of elevating into, it intimidates them because they see their unfulfilled potential in you. Now, theoretically, this should actually make your parents more proud of you. And in some cases, it does. But a lot of times, it doesn't. And that's because people are inherently insecure. Because again, they only know who they are relative to the people around them. Humans, by nature, define things by comparison. We tend to learn new things, even about ourselves, by comparing ourselves to other people. And your parents are no exception to this. They're just human, just like you. And they have human flaws just like you have. So when they see you suddenly start waking up at 4 a.m., or they see you start working on weekends, or they see you start going to the gym every day, or eating healthy, and they're still eating junk food, they're still sleeping in, they're still doing things that you're not doing anymore, it intimidates them because they don't know who they are anymore. It makes them question themselves because they see their unfulfilled potential living through you, and they don't like it because people don't like to be reminded of who they could have and should have become, especially older people. That's why there are so many bitter old people in this world. Now, the next reason why your parents do not support your dreams, the reason why your parents doubt your dreams, is because they want you to avoid pain. I want you to think about something. Okay, imagine if you have somebody that you love, a child, for example, or a pet, somebody that's been reliant on you for the majority of its life, or really the entirety of its life. At a certain point, your number one priority is to keep it safe, even if safety comes at the expense of happiness and freedom. I've talked about this in a few recent videos, but there are two doors in life. The first door is marked security, the second door is marked freedom. If you walk through the door marked security, you get neither. If you walk through the door marked freedom, you get both. But most of the time, your parents want you to walk through that door of security because security brings perceived safety. Keyword, perceived. So it's not actually any more safe than following the non-beaten path, but to them it seems more safe because it's more familiar. In fact, it's very likely the path that they themselves have chosen. And they want you to avoid going through the pain of uncertainty from their limited perspective. So for example, when you tell them that you want to be a content creator, they don't understand it. They're not familiar with content creation in the way that you are, because during their formative years, when their brains were developing the fastest they ever would for the rest of their lives, they literally did not have access to YouTube. They didn't have access to it. So when you tell them that you want to be a content creator, to you, it's logical, it's realistic, because you see thousands upon thousands of people, such as myself, making money from it every single day. But they don't understand that. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of people who don't even know, a lot of older people in particular, who don't even know that I make money from videos like this. So you have to understand that if your parents fall into that category, they are not going to understand that this is actually a relatively safe option. I can't get fired from YouTube. I still make money even if I don't work. It's passive. It's passive and active. If I work more, I can make more money. And the ceiling is unlimited. And there are countless stories of people whose parents doubted them initially starting YouTube, and now they pay their parents' bills. Because their parents didn't understand that this is actually the path of freedom. And when you walk through that door, when you walk on the path of freedom, you get freedom and security. And that security can then be shared with other people around you, including but not limited to your parents. But until you show them that, they're not going to understand that it is much more painful for you to walk the traditional route. Because to them, it wasn't as painful to walk the traditional path and work a 9 to 5, so on and so forth, because they didn't know better. They didn't have other options. You have other options. You are more aware. We call it the curse of knowledge. With our generation, if you're between 18 and 24, with our generation, we grew up seeing the possibilities beyond the 9 to 5. And again, we perceive it as at least somewhat realistic. It's not some pie in the sky dream. It's feasible, especially if you followed somebody such as myself from the beginning of their journeys. You realize that, wow, literally anybody can do this. It is not that difficult. Your parents don't understand that, and they won't understand that until you actually make it happen. And I'm speaking from experience with that. That said, how do you overcome their doubt? How do you overcome their negativity and them trying to constantly steer you in the direction of security when you would much rather pursue the path of freedom? There are 2 ways that you can feasibly overcome their doubt. The first way is, like I said, you can just prove them wrong. You can prove them wrong because you have to think about it. When somebody perceives something as unrealistic, it's because they haven't yet been exposed to it. They haven't been exposed to it. So if somebody has never come in contact with any technological device in their whole entire lives, they won't perceive it as realistic because they haven't seen it before. Most people have to see things before they can believe them. You have to become the person who can believe things even before you see it. And then you can help your parents see things so that they can then start to believe it. So become the proof, become the evidence, become the case study that helps them break past their limiting beliefs and see that it is in fact possible. The second strategy, and this is more suited for people who are in very toxic home situations. Maybe your parents are controlling, abusive, or maybe they're threatening to kick you out if you don't go to college and take on those loans, or if you quit your job, so on and so forth. If you're in that category, and this is especially prevalent amongst second generation immigrants, I've noticed this, that when their parents immigrated from another country to the first world, if you will, a lot of times they don't understand these concepts. They don't understand YouTube. They don't understand getting into the music industry, so on and so forth. If you fall in that category, lie. Lie. Literally just lie to them. Tell them that you're going to college. Tell them that you're going to your job. Put on a fake uniform. Go to Party City. Get a fake job uniform, UPS, whatever. Get in your car like you're going to work, and then you drive to a vacant parking lot and you film your videos. Or you go to the music studio and you make your album in that UPS uniform. You lied to them. As a matter of fact, I have a friend, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to put him on blast, but this is just too funny not to share. His parents still think he's in college. This man dropped out probably 2 years ago, and his parents still think he's in college. He's been telling me, bro, they don't even know that I dropped out, and now graduation's coming up. I don't know how to tell them. I'm like, dang, bro, that kind of sucks. But at the same time, that's what it took. That's what he had to do. He had to do what he had to do. And that bought him some time to be able to work on his personal brand. It helps him avoid the stress of those unwanted conversations. But if you're in a position where your parents literally won't even let you take the action to show them that this stuff is real, if they won't even give you the opportunity to prove it to them, lie. You have my blessing to lie to your parents. And I understand maybe you're not the lying type of person, but you will have to become the lying type of person because you owe it to yourself to bring your vision into fruition. That is your purpose on this earth. And you can't let anybody stop you, especially your parents, because again, your parents were here before you were born. And if everything goes according to plan, if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, you will be here long after your parents die. Which means that if you follow the path that they want you to follow, you are going to be stuck with the consequences of those decisions, of that perceived security, which again doesn't actually exist. And they won't be stuck with it because they'll be gone.